guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. And I was just driving around today, doing a little vlog in it, and I thought, well, why not a booktube vlog, car vlog? Never do that anymore. Something a little different. I am gonna do my favorites of 2016, probably like in March, like today or tomorrow. And then I'm also gonna do my New Year's resolutions for reading, because I said I was gonna do it, and I was like, fuck it. And then a lot of people were like, no, I think I would really like that. And I was like, okay. So here's my issue today. I don't know if you guys will even be able to see this, but I am reading All the Missing Girls by Megan Miranda. I'm listening to it on Audible, okay? Now, you guys know I'm killing for loving these missing, kidnapping kind of stories, right? I love them so much. And this is very much like that. It's about this girl named Nicolette, and she goes home after 10 years because her dad this, and I'm not going to ruin the book for you. I don't do spoilers. But it's all about how her best friend went missing like 10 years before, okay? Well, I'm listening to this book, and I'm like, first of all, it reminds me, it's not a young adult book, it's an adult book. It reminds me very, very much of Pretty Little Liars. And I watched the TV show, I didn't read the books, and in fact, I almost got the first book yesterday at Half Price Books, but so many people told me that they're just like not that good, so I was like, well, screw it, I'm not gonna get it. But anyway, so if you guys like Pretty Little Liars, the book series, put it in the comment section below, and I'll go out and start reading those. I'm also going to do a book haul. I've been buying a book here, a book there, a book everywhere. But anyway, so I'm like listening to this book, and like the girl who goes missing, her name is Corinne Prescott, and I'm like, this name sounds so familiar to me. Why does that name sound so familiar? Corinne Prescott. And then I'm like, what? I was driving around last night listening to it, and I was like, oh my God, the mother who gets killed in Scream, her name is Maureen Prescott. Maureen Prescott, Corinne Prescott. I mean, come on now. Like, that cannot be a coincidence, okay? So either the writer is putting in these subliminal pop culture things, or like she was watching Scream when she came up with the name. I don't know. Like, as a writer, I understand how that happens. Like, pop culture really does affect when we're writing, which I think is why like so many writers like stay off of like social media and, you know, TV and movies when they're writing. And like, in fact, with my book, The Before, Now, and After Then, linked below, would make a great present. If you go in there, like I was listening to so many audiobooks at the time that I was writing that book, that there are definitely like influences of like, I listened to like John Corey Whaley, John Green, Robin Schneider, David Levithan. I mean, there's definitely those influences in my book because I think I was reading and listening to those things at the same time. I would drive around and I would take breaks while I was like writing, and then I would just listen to these audiobooks. So anyway, I mean, I understand how that happens, but there's a lot of it in this book. Like, I read last year, it may be one of my top 10 best books of last year, The Morning Hours by Paula Trek-DeBord. I loved that book so much, and it's about a girl that goes missing, like 10 years before. Nobody really knows what happened to her, and like, this is like the lesser version of that. Except for that, I'm really into the mystery of this book more than I was the mystery of that book. That book was, Paula Trek-DeBord is a beautiful writer. Like, everything she writes is just beautiful. And like, I have 2 of her books that I'm getting excited to read. The Drowning Girls, and then she has a 3rd one out. She's just a beautiful, beautiful writer. But this one is, I wouldn't say is beautifully written, but I will say this that I'm so fucking confused about. This book is 10 hours on Audible. I only have 2 hours left. It does this thing where it goes in and it says like day 6 the day before, day 5 the day before. Like, I have no clue. So like, when you're reading it, like what happens is what happened like the next day. Like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm so confused, and I know that she deliberately did this for a reason. So I'm like, well, what's the reason that she did it for? I mean, obviously we're gonna find out, but it's too much, I think, for a reader. Like, I want to sit down and escape. Like, I don't want to have to be that fucking smart when I'm reading a book that I have to like decipher what the fuck's going on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just is too much. I'm like, why? Like, I'm sitting here wanting to enjoy. It's like, somebody said to me something yesterday about Patricia Cornwell, and I used to read Patricia Cornwell, like all this Kay Scarpetta novels. Like, they were good. They were really well done mysteries. Like, also those Deja Dead books about the anthropologist. I read all of those too back in the day. But they weren't like a mystery, and then on top of that, you had to figure out like the writing scheme. Like, it's too much. Okay, so that's my first dilemma. My second thing I wanted to say that I'm very proud of is that I'm almost done with my third book of 2017. Woo! Only 97 books to go. And then I also wanted to say that I am like, okay, when I was looking through my favorite books of last year, which some of them were like Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel, and, what's the one by Blake Crouch, who wrote Wayward Pines? Dark Matter. Like, those were two of my favorite books of last year. And I found both of those books on the Book of the Month Club. But then I was like, I don't really care about this Book of the Month Club for two reasons. Because the books are fine. I mean, you get a pick from 5 books. I really like the idea of it. Like, judges are picked, and then each judge comes up with a book. I think the thing is a little bit more schemed than it really is. Like, I don't know, like, what I think about it. But anyway, but they're 5 good books, okay? But the thing is, it's like, I could just go to Barnes & Noble and buy a book, right? Like, I don't need to, like, get it through the Book of the Month Club. If somebody wants to buy me a subscription, I would totally take that, because to out my family members out there watching. I mean, I do like it, but it's like, too much, son. But it's like, I don't know. Like, then I find myself investing in books that I wouldn't normally invest in. But here's the thing. If I wasn't part of the Book of the Month Club, I wouldn't have found those books last year, right? So I'm really struggling on what to do, and they lowered their prices because I didn't re-sign up for it. Oh, the other thing that pissed me off was that they picked 5 books that the readers said were the best books of last year, which I don't believe this at all. And one of the 5 was The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware, which it was hands down one of the worst books I read last year. Probably one of the worst books I've ever read. Like, as a mystery reader, if you read a lot of mysteries, and I know everybody says, oh, this is the next Gone Girl, or this is the next Girl on the Train, but there's a lot of really good mysteries out there. That Woman in Cabin 10 was shit. It just was straight up shit, and I don't care what anybody says. If you read that book and you liked it, you need to give me a really good reason why, because that book was shit, and I read it cover to cover. So anyway, I knew what was going to happen, like, long before the book was over, first of all, which means it's not a very good mystery. It wasn't well written. The characters weren't well developed. And then everybody tells me that her first book that came before that, In a Dark, Dark Wood, is even worse. So I'm like, how are these people that are really not these great writers getting so exposed? Because everywhere you go, that Woman in Cabin 10 is there. It's like, so, okay, all these authors are making a lot of money because they have great marketing teams, right? But then there are a lot of authors out there that are not getting recognized at all, you know, that are independently self-publishing and things like that because they can't get publishing contracts because they don't know anybody. Because I really believe to get published, you have to know somebody. I don't think we live in the world anymore where you send in a manuscript and you get discovered. I think, like, if that's your dream, I hate to be a dream killer, but you better start networking and making some friends in the publishing world, because I don't think that shit happens anymore. I just don't. If you look at most people that are published authors, they've either worked in the industry or they're really close with somebody that works in the industry. And I think that's what happened with Ruth Ware. I think I read her bio, and she, like, worked in the industry for years, and so she got published, and now everybody's like, Ruth Ware, Ruth Ware. That book was shit, okay? The only thing good about that book was the cover. And I tweeted out Book of the Month Club, and I said, I'm really disappointed in you that you put this book in your top 5. And they said, well, our readers voted on it. And I said, well, this reader didn't vote on that shit at all. I can tell you that right now. I would have voted for Amy Schumer's autobiography, and I didn't even read it, but I can tell you I know it's better than that crap. Anyway, but if it wasn't for that, the Book of the Month Club, then I wouldn't have found those 2 books. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to join Book of the Month Club unless one of my family members subscribes to it for me. I'm just going to start going through there and see what their monthly selections are and which one I would pick, and then I'm going to go buy it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cheat the Book of the Month Club. I really want to, okay, this is one of my New Year's resolutions I'm going to give you a little sneak about, is that I really want to try some of those, what do you call it, like book box things this year. Like, I've never, besides Book of the Month Club, which isn't even really one of those, I've never done like a book opening, like book box. I've never gotten a book box. I think that would be so fun, like Owl Crate and those. You guys all do it. You all get them on the same day, and you all release your videos on the same day. And I sit there and I'm just fucking jealous. I'm like, well, I want a pen with a Harry Potter pen, even though I haven't read the Harry Potter things. What was I watching the other day? Connor O'Brien opened it, this one crate box, and he had this, like, it was like a gold keychain, what's the thing from Star Wars, the lightsaber. He goes, I guess that's a gold lightsaber from Star Wars. He goes, oh, this is really cool. I love when people say that. I wish somebody would go, this is just a bunch of shit, and just toss it behind them. That's totally what I would do. That's why nobody reaches out to me to open these boxes, because I would be like, oh, this Harry Potter exclusive hat pin crap. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Follow me on all my social media. It's linked below. And I'm so excited for this year on BookTube. I've got so many cool things planned, so many collabs planned. And yeah, love you guys. Bye.